not supposed to start recording. I'm in the middle of putting up my crazy hair. Anyways, since it's already started, let's get into it. I was gonna make a video on fear and how fear prevents you from accessing so many parts of yourself, and it prevents you from growing, it prevents you from healing, it prevents you from so many essential things in life. I was watching the totally off topic, but kind of in relation to what I'm talking about. Fear is, I was watching the movie Dune, and there's really interesting and profound lines in that movie that talk about fear, like about fear being the mind killer, and how something about once you let the fear pass through you, there will be nothing left but yourself. Something along the lines of that. Forgive me for totally massacring that, but yeah. And it's interesting because if I were to look back on my life, there have been so many things that I was afraid of. And did I let it stop me from moving forward? No, I did not. And I was reading a book. I might have made videos on fear in the past as well, but I was reading a book, and basically it was saying that there's three reactions to fear. There's fight, flight, or freeze. And I think a lot of people freeze. And I think you and I know when you freeze, which probably is the worst thing you can do. You just kind of stay in place. You don't move forward, you don't move backward, you just stay in place and nothing happens. You know, it's almost like you're paralyzed to do anything, you know? I think, you know how they say stress is a silent killer? I think fear is the silent killer. Yeah, and what is stress? Stress is probably a form of fear. Anxiety is a form of fear. There's so many different branches from the subject matter fear, you know? But yeah, like I said, looking back on my life, I think I've always looked at my fear, and I've just kind of allowed myself to go straight through it. You know, like maybe initially there'll be a pause, you know, just so that my system can fully process what it is that's making me afraid. But overall, like if I'm afraid of something, and I don't know how applicable this is to everything, but I know, let me use my new job as an example. I just got hired for a position I know nothing about. And there's a lot of details and odds and ends and information that you need to absorb. And I just don't know. And I think normally people, one, maybe wouldn't consider getting into a field that they know nothing about because they're afraid of I don't know, failing, or afraid of not knowing how to proceed in an unknown situation. Or, there's so many things, you know. But I honestly take it as a challenge. I don't know anything about this, but I definitely want to learn, you know. But there's been many times over in this job that I've encountered things that I was afraid of. And initially I would maybe be like, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing that. But then I want to say, and it doesn't take me too long, I'll be like, you know what? I am afraid of this. It is uncomfortable, but I need to do this. I need to make it happen. I need to do it. I just need to get it done. I just need to overcome this fear. And yeah, that's how I approach most of my life. And I don't think many people operate that way in life. And I think that's why a lot of people hold themselves back and they prevent themselves from becoming more of who they really are. You know, the fear. I don't really know where I'm going with this video. I just kind of wanted to talk on it because I think it's really important to bring this subject matter to light. You know, because I think in today's society, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in America, let me tell you, they not only promote fear on I feel like a subconscious level. They plant seeds of fear in people. They also promote consumption. So what are they teaching you? They're basically creating stories for people to be absolutely paranoid and afraid and anxious filled. But instead of like feeding them things that are empowering, in my opinion. You know, a lot of people, because they are not aware that they do have the power to step back and like think about things and say, hey, you know, this doesn't sound accurate to me, so I probably will not accept this information. No, a lot of people are like sponges and they just kind of take things in and they believe everything, and then they believe these stories that bring fear into their lives, and that's why I don't watch news. I just don't care. I don't care about the news, because all it is the media weaving stories. And if you believe the stories, it alters your ability to operate and perceive accurately in the world, because you're believing a story that someone else told you instead of like writing your own story, instead of stepping back and like questioning and saying, how accurate is this? Like, is this beneficial to me? Should I believe it? Who is the source? You know? And then, yeah, on the opposite end of the spectrum, they're just kind of like making people consume as a way of comforting themselves, and then just buying unnecessary things, literally buying, like buying the stories, buying food that is not good for their body, buying stuff they don't really need, and then, you know, they're in debt, and then they have to like work, and it's like slavery. Like, I don't know. That's why, like, when people have control of your mind, they'll control your actions, they'll control your habits, they'll control your decisions. And if that person doesn't have the your best interests at heart, it'll completely destroy you. You know? And maybe that's why I am the way I am. Like, I had a friend in my life that said that I don't trust him. I don't trust a lot of things, honestly, until I see something tangible that makes sense in my mind. Because I'm not going to just blindly believe what anyone tells me. You know, if it's not followed up by actions, and if it doesn't like line up intuitionally, like if I can sense like something feels off, I'm not gonna believe it. You know, there's more analysis to be done on the subject matter. And sometimes some things just don't require that much of my mental energy. Like, it's just really not that important. But I definitely have always been a little skeptical, and people don't like that. I've noticed most people don't like that. They take it personally. They're like, yeah, like, what, you don't believe me, you don't trust me? Well, if I were to be completely honest, I don't, until like you produce like some tangible things that really make sense and sit well with how I feel. Because yeah, I can feel when something's off. You know, it's not just a mental thing. I can feel it. I can feel, okay, something is off. You know, somebody is, trying to get me to believe a particular story, but it doesn't feel like something feels off. And then they're going to try to make you feel like, oh, you have trust issues. Yeah, I do have trust issues. I also have a mind of my own, and I would like to use my mind, not just blindly follow, anything and everything around me. But anyways, I've just kind of gone down a freaking rabbit hole of everything. And my whole thing is fear. Fear is the mind killer, guys. Okay, so in the same regards, I guess, if fear is the mind killer, stress kills your body. Your body's ability to operate and function normally, So fear and stress. You want to live a wholesome, happy life, I guess. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Don't allow fear to paralyze you, to keep you in place, and realize that whenever you feel afraid of something, it's probably best to mentally move forward and through it. When I talk about fear, I'm not talking about like physical fear where like where you're going to put yourself in danger. I'm talking about mental fear. There's so many things that play in our mind, whether it be from yourself or from the things around you, that generate fear. And if, let's keep going down this rabbit hole of everything. If you look at society, they're trying to implement divisive strategies to get us to fight amongst each other. It's a fear tactic. I feel like naturally, like, okay, if you look at nature is like the divine blueprint, I feel. You have like a balance of many different varieties of animals, plants, bacteria, whatever, coinciding harmoniously in a particular space. And yeah, okay, you have predators and you have prey, but again, the balance is needed, With humanity, we're supposed to be living like this. We're supposed to be coinciding and cooperating and collaborating towards something that will benefit us all. But society has us fighting with each other. Over what? What are we fighting about? We could shift our energy, or change the direction of our energy towards a much more loving and peaceful and collaborative space where everyone thrives instead of everyone trying to survive, And I'm just waiting for that shift to happen, because, something can only be imbalanced for so long before it self-destructs, and then maybe we need to like level everything out to ground zero so that we can start fresh and start in a way that really benefits everyone instead of just the few. Anyways, this is like straight up my thoughts, unfiltered, and not, what is that called when somebody tries to like they rewrite a script beforehand and then they read it. Yeah, this is like straight off the top of my head. I'm not trying to like rehearse things or candy coat things. It's just how I feel. And that's why I like stay in my own lane. Or lately, I've learned to just kind of stay in my own lane and just kind of like really, really put a lot of my attention and awareness into tapping into like higher states of consciousness, you know, because I feel like everything is vibrational, everything is energy. Once you raise your vibration and you're able to like consistently keep it at that rate, it definitely ripples out. You know, it's like you become that beacon of divine consciousness on the earth. And I don't know, since I was a kid, I've always had this vision of heaven on earth. Like that's been very prominent throughout my life. Like since I was a kid, like I remember when I was a kid, like probably like, I don't know, maybe even three years old, I just always thought like heaven on earth. That was like, maybe that's my, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like everyone is a beacon. Everyone is emitting a frequency or energy or vibration. And that vibration affects everything around you. So it's like, what do you want to see? What do you want to create? What do you want to be? You know? And you should like definitely hone in on that and direct all of your attention and energy there so that you can bring about the change that you want to see in the world through an energetic vibrational space. Energetic, vibrational, and like your state of consciousness, you know? Anyways, this has been a long ramble. Let's end it. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Fear is the mind killer, stress is the body killer. If you want to be balanced and healthy, you need to move through these things and not let them paralyze you or keep you in place. That's the end story. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to end it. Or else I'm just going to keep rambling. And I honestly don't think I've been talking very well. It's just been stumbling over my words. But if you learned something cool, if you didn't, that's cool too. It's all about simplification, man. Like, I just don't buy into a lot of the stuff that society is trying to force feed everyone. And I've just been working on simplification so that I can just get everything out of my space so that I can be more clear in the way I operate and proceed. Blessings to one and all. Amen.